Good afternoon. All today's football results and the early season league tables are on the way, and we hope to hear from the likes of Jose Mourinho, Arsene Wenger and Sven-Göran Eriksson over the next 20 minutes. We'll definitely hear the opinions of Gavin Peacock, Lee Dixon and Garth Crooks, who watched this afternoon's Barclays Premier League games. But first, Tim Gudgin will confirm all today's final scores.
Opening with the Barclays Premier League, Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Aston Villa 2, Fulham 1. Bolton Wanderers 3, Reading 0. Chelsea 1, Portsmouth 0. Derby County 1, Birmingham City 2. Everton and Blackburn Rovers have an evening kick-off at 5:20. Sunderland 0, Liverpool 2. West Ham United 1, Wigan Athletic 1. The Coca-Cola Championship, Barnsley 3, Plymouth Argyle 2. Bristol City 2, Scunthorpe United 1. Burnley's match with Queen's Park Rangers postponed. Cardiff City 0, Coventry City 1. Charlton Athletic 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Hull City 2, Norwich City 1. Leicester City 4, Watford 1. Preston North End 0, Colchester United 3. Sheffield United and West Bromwich Albion have an evening kick-off. Southampton 3, Stoke City 2. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Blackpool 1. Coca-Cola League 1, Cheltenham Town 1, Swindon Town 1. Crewe Alexandra 0, Leyton Orient 2. Doncaster Rovers 1, Bournemouth 2. Huddersfield Town 0, Carlisle United 2. Luton Town 3, Gillingham 1. Northampton Town 1, Yeovil Town 2. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 2. Oldham Athletic 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Port Vale 0, Hartlepool United 2. Southend United 1, Millwall 0. Tranmere Rovers 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Walsall 1, Swansea City 3. League 2, Bradford City 2, Wrexham 1. Brentford 2, Barnet 1. Chester City 4, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. Darlington 2, Notts County 2. Grimsby Town 1, Macclesfield Town 1. Hereford United 1, Rochdale 1. Lincoln City 2, Accrington Stanley 0. Milton Keynes Dons 3, Shrewsbury Town 0. Morecambe 3, Mansfield Town 1. Peterborough United 2, Chesterfield 3. Stockport County 2, Rotherham United 2. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Bury 0. The Blue Square Premier, Altrincham 0, Grays Athletic 1. Crawley Town 2, Northwich Victoria 1. Droylsden 2, Exeter City 3. Ebbsfleet United 1, Halifax Town 0. Farsley Celtic 2, Salisbury 2. Oxford United 2, Stafford Rangers 1. Torquay United 3, Rushton and Diamonds 2. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 5, Hearts 0. Falkirk 0, St Mirren 1. Gretna 1, Motherwell 2. Hibernian 3, Aberdeen 3. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0, Dundee United 3. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2. Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Clyde 1, St Johnstone 0. Dundee 3, Partick Thistle 0. Dunfermline Athletic 2, Stirling Albion 1. Morton 0, Hamilton Academicals 2. Queen of the South 1, Livingston 0. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 1, Queen's Park 0. Alloa Athletic 2, Brechin City 2. Ayr United 4, Berwick Rangers 0. Cowdenbeath 1, Wraith Rovers 0. Ross County 1, Peterhead 0. Scottish Division 3, Dumbarton 2, Albion Rovers 0. East Fife 3, Stranraer 1. Forfar Athletic 4, Elgin City 0. Montrose 3, Arbroath 3. Stenhousemuir 0, East Stirling 3. The Principality Building Society Welsh Premier, Bangor City 2, Haverfordwest 0. Casus 2, Airbus UK 3. Connors Quay 2, Neath 0. Llangefni Town 0, Carmarthen 3. Port Talbot 5, Newtown 1. Rhyl 1, Llanelli 2.
Still early days, but the fans of the team sitting at the top won't mind looking at the various league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, Chelsea are the new leaders. Frank Lampard's first half goal gave them all 3 points against Portsmouth. Manchester City slipped to second. They lost their 100% record start to the season with a 1-0 defeat at Arsenal. Wigan are third after a 1-1 draw at West Ham. Liverpool fourth with a game in hand. They continue their strong start to the season with a 2-0 win at Sunderland. Arsenal look in good form and in fifth place with a game in hand. Everton play Blackburn at Goodison this evening. Kick-off 5:15. Derby were the bookmakers' favourites to go down at the start of the season, and they're bottom after losing at home to Birmingham. Incredible as it seems, Manchester United are second from bottom. For the time being at least, they play Spurs tomorrow. Fulham slip into the bottom three after losing to a late goal at Aston Villa. Bolton are just above them after their first win under Sammy Lee. They beat Reading 2-0. Let's take a look at the Coca-Cola Championship. Still early days, but Ian Dowie's Coventry sit top of the pile after winning at Cardiff. 2 goals from Freddie Eastwood gave Wolves victory against Blackpool. Mick McCarthy's side go second. Stoke and Watford couldn't maintain their 100% records, losing at Southampton and Leicester respectively. And Colchester continued to confound the critics. They won 3-0 at Preston today with 41-year-old Teddy Sheringham on target. Football overshadowed today by the sad death of Queen's Park Rangers teenager Ray Jones. He died in a road accident yesterday evening, and as a mark of respect, the championship game between Queen's Park Rangers and Burnley was cancelled. Sheffield Wednesday remained pointless after throwing away a 2-goal lead in the 3-2 defeat at Charlton. Preston a second bottom, while Sheffield United play West Bromwich Albion this evening. Barnsley move up the table after beating Plymouth 3-2. Let's take a look at League One so far. Leyton Orient, their perfect start continues. They stay top after winning 2-0 at Crewe. Carlisle under caretaker manager Greg Abbott are second after winning at Huddersfield. Tranmere Rovers climb to third after beating Brighton 2-0. Luton, relegated last season, are up to fourth. They beat Gillingham 3-1. Hartlepool, Yeovil and Huddersfield are just behind on goal difference. Leeds are bottom because of their 15-point penalty, but it's been the perfect start of the season for them. 3 wins out of 3. They won 2-1 at Nottingham Forest today. Gillingham suffered their 3rd straight defeat at Luton. Port Vale, Walsall, Doncaster and Northampton are just above them. All suffered home defeats. Let's take a look at Coca-Cola League 2. Darlington remain top despite their 100% record ending with a 2-2 draw against Notts County. Chester City just behind them after thrashing Dagenham 4-0. Shrewsbury began the day joint top but were beaten at MK Dons. Dagenham still await their first win in the Football League. Rochdale picked up their first point at Hereford and move off the bottom, and Mansfield's slow start continued with defeat at Morecambe. Let's take a look at the Blue Square Premier League. Exeter replaced Cambridge at the top after a 3-2 win at Droylsden. Cambridge lost their 100% record after a 0-0 draw at Woking. The other end of the table, it's Stafford Rangers, the only side without a point. They lost 2-1 at Oxford. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League. Leaders Rangers kept up their 100% record with a 2-1 win at Kilmarnock. Marcus de Beasley, Jean-Claude Darcheville both on target. Celtic remained 2 points behind after beating Hearts 5-0. Hibs down to 4th after a 3-3 draw with Aberdeen. Managerless Inverness still pointless after losing at home to Dundee United. Gretna couldn't build on last week's draw with Hearts. They were beaten by landlords Motherwell and their kit went on fire during the week. It's not been a happy start to the season for them. It's been an eventful afternoon of football. Here's the headlines from the Barclays Premier League matches played so far. Cesc Fabregas ends Manchester City's 100% start with a late winner for the Arsenal. Kasper Schmeichel had earlier saved Robin van Persie's penalty. Chelsea are the new leaders. Frank Lampard's first half goal gave Chelsea the points against Portsmouth. Pompey haven't won at Stamford Bridge for 50 years. Nicholas Anelka and El Hadj Diouf silenced their critics. They inspired Bolton's first win of the season against Reading. Sammy Lee is off the mark after 6 games in charge. No Wearside worries for Liverpool. Goals from Sissoko and Voronin give the points to Liverpool. 3-point shared at Upton Park as Lee Boyer cancels out a Paul Sharner bicycle kick. Aston Villa fight back to beat Fulham, who had Chris Bird sent off. Martin O'Neill was sent to the stands, but he saw Sean Maloney grab a last-minute winner. Cameron Jerome struck twice to give Birmingham their first win of the season, sending Derby bottom. Tonight's Match of the Day will feature all today's goals, all today's saves, all today's major incidents. It's a 10:30 start here on BBC One. Reaction now to today's results. Always delighted on Final Score to hear from Jose Mourinho.
Jose, you might look back at those 3 points and think they're very important because sometimes you have to win without playing particularly well, and you weren't great today.
I agree. The good thing were the points, and of course the performance was not the best. I can choose a few items to try to justify that. The first one is the quality of the opponent. The opponent is a good team, full of good players, with a good manager, well organized. The second item, national teams. The players, they go for the national teams and they stay there for almost a week, and they come yesterday not to train, just to say hello to me and to play today. So we don't prepare properly for the game. And the third item, I believe, was the weather, because it was very, very hot, and I think the players felt a little bit in terms of the intensity of the game. But going to the beginning, I'm happy with the points, but I want to play better.
You of course have several players in your side who you always can rely on, and Frank Lampard is one of those players, and he's had quite a week, really, hasn't he, with 2 goals for you and 1 for England?
You know, he scored for us in Reading, in Liverpool, for the national team, and today, 4 consecutive matches, scoring goals, and important goals, except the one for England, because was a friendly and a defeat. But for us, every goal means something, and I agree with you. He's one of the players, I keep saying, when he plays well, he's the best. When he doesn't play very well, he's the second or the third best. He's a fantastic player.
65 home games unbeaten in the league for Chelsea. Chelsea top of the table. Right, let's go to the Emirates. John Motson commentated on the Arsenal-Manchester City game. Right result, John, given the balance of play?
Maybe in the end, yes. I felt very sorry for Kasper Schmeichel. He saved a penalty from Robin van Persie, as you said, Ray, and then in the very last minute, as you'll see on Match of the Day tonight, he very nearly emulated his father Peter by scoring at the other end with a header, which Almunia had to save. Arsenal had more of the game. I thought City could have done better on the breakaway a few times, but they've lost their unbeaten record, and of course it's the first goal, the shot from Fabregas, that they've conceded this season.
John, just going back to something that was in the newspapers, I'd like your comment on Michel Platini suggesting that the FA Cup winners go into the Champions League and 4th place in the Premier League doesn't.
Well, in my opinion, it should have been done years ago, Ray. I mean, the Champions League is misnamed. It's not a Champions League at all. It's for teams that finish 2nd, 3rd, and in our case, 4th as well. I think it would give the FA Cup a tremendous boost if the 4th team if the FA Cup winners replaced the 4th team in the Champions League. It's a competition that needs nurturing. It would give everybody an incentive to play their strongest team throughout the FA Cup. And frankly, I hope the FA stand their ground if Platini pushes this through and they finally get the verdict in this particular case over the Premier League.
John, thanks for joining us on Final Score. Garth, Chelsea, top of the table. What's your view on their style of play?
Yet again, another workmanlike performance. It's interesting that Mourinho doesn't think that they had their best performance. I thought they were poor in terms of their performance. Yeah, they got the results, and they'll keep getting results. And why shouldn't they with the players they've got? And he says that the players are on international duty. So will Liverpool players. Liverpool play today a different style of football, fabulous to watch, picking up points. Admittedly, they played Sunderland, but they're still playing great football. What do you think Chelsea's contribution to English football has been, Gavin?
Well, 2 championships out of the last 3 years, won all the domestic cup competitions, and raised the standard as far as consistency, and a team go out there and perform and are ruthless winners. And I think that it's been important for them to start the season well after the disappointment of not winning the league last year. Pressure's come with the money that Mourinho's spent on the team. But again, I think that they're more than... I think they play better football than some people give them credit for. At times they have knocked the 4s and 5s past teams. But yes, I think Mourinho knows that people want to see a little bit more flair. But today, let me just say, Portsmouth played their part. They were excellent today, and Chelsea were fortunate to get the win because Portsmouth played well.
Unattractive?
Who?
Chelsea?
Were they unattractive? I just didn't think that they played that well. They didn't click. Portsmouth played very well and opened them up at times.
Manchester City's run has come to an end, a setback for Sven, and Arsenal under Arsene Wenger they look pretty useful, I would say, Lee.
They did, but it's that old thing, they don't really score enough goals when they're on top of teams, and they had a huge amount of possession today. Kasper Schmeichel was outstanding, and he held his team together, made some great saves, made a penalty save from Van Persie, and in the end, Sven won't be too disappointed because they did play their part in a really good game.
Here's a relieved man. Bolton, 3 defeats out of 3. Here's the Bolton boss, Sammy Lee, after victory today at the Reebok.
Sammy, great result, 3 points and a great performance to match as well.
Yes, I think it's been a very pleasing day. You know, I think we've said before that in the past games that we've had is that we felt that there was an awful lot of positives we can take out of the game, and people may have thought I was glib when I said that, but I really feel that if we can be positive and keep on doing the things right, then it won't go far wrong. What we had to rectify is the fact that we were shedding goals very, very easily, and if you don't keep clean sheets, then you don't win many football games. So that was a very, very pleasing aspect of today's performance.
I think you never looked like a team that had lost its first 3 games of the season either.
Well, as I tried to say, I mean, I tried not to get carried away with the 3 defeats. There's been an awful lot being said, and I won't get carried away with the win today. I'm very pleased with the win today, but it's like everything else. I've said on many occasions that I've tried to take something out of each and every game, even in defeat, and like I said today, I'm very, very pleased, and there's an awful lot I can take out of today's game, and I won't get carried away with it.
Just before we move on, a mention of the My Club service that's available. Fans of all the clubs in the English and Scottish Premier and Football Leagues can text My Club, followed by the name of their team, to 81010 and receive a link to the BBC website covering that club. Full details on all today's football is on the BBC Sport website, all the results, the goal scorers and the tables. Great relief for Sammy Lee getting a victory today, very important for Bolton.
Yeah, and I think Anelka, and in particular Gary Speed, what a leader of men he is. Tremendous opening goal for them, and it settled them down brilliantly.
Would you say Martin O'Neill will be very entertaining on Match of the Day this evening? Sent to the stands, but the images of him going through the mill to try and get his team points today were fascinating to watch.
Every game we see, Martin goes through every emotion. Today's no different. He's on the bench, he's in the stand, and he's brilliant entertainment. A great result from him as well.
Well played, Birmingham.
Yeah, they've made a good start. In particular, Cameron Jerome looks a tremendous signing. Looks a real live wire up front.
Gavin, Lee, Garth, thank you very much. Just about time to say goodbye to BBC One viewers. More debate and discussion and more post-match reaction from the Premier League managers is coming up. Press the red button and follow the links to stay with us here in the Final Score studio. Much more to come. 10:30 start for Match of the Day. This is where we close on BBC One, but it's bye for now.